Test mic. Hello, good morning, everyone. It's October 15, 2024, 9:38 in the morning, and just looking at what the market is going to give us today. So let me just make sure that everything is connected here on my end. Everyone, it's October 15, 2024, 9:38 in the morning, and just looking at what the market is going to give us today. So let me just make sure that. All right, so a couple of things that we're watching today. Of course, we're gonna be basing our trade based on what SPY is doing. SPY is all-time high yesterday and now having a little bit of a pullback at 584. So pre-market high is at 584.92 with a 583.7 as the pre-market low. Apple here is having a $3.65 pushed higher, and it already formed an opening range breakout. All right, so we missed that trade. It's totally fine. Let's wait for a setup. Tesla here, Tesla pre-market high at 220, and then we had a pullback at 224. So you do have a VWAP right here. Tesla here looking weak. Based from the 5 minutes, it is under the VWAP, and with SPY below the VWAP as well, it has a VWAP right here, so that can be a good support as well. So right now it's really hard to see what Tesla would like to do. Nvidia here is an inside bar. Is this an all-time high? Yesterday there was a level here at 140, and then now having a little bit of a pullback, which is an inside bar. So the one that's interesting is Tesla. Tesla is not able to go up the VWAP right here. So Tesla for me looks weak. So I'm doing a small position to the short on Tesla, just based from this 5 minutes. The stop loss is going to be at 22.89 here. If this reach to 2289, then we'll be out of this trade. Just wanted to see whether Tesla still has some room for this to go down. AMD breaking the support here, opening range breakdown. UNH short selling restriction, but a bit pricey, 580. Okay, Tesla moving here. All right, adding to my short on Tesla. So now stop loss is at 22.89 still. So just looking at the tape here, 2232.89 is the stop loss here. There's not a lot of volume here, and looks like I'm gonna get stop out here. Big volume at 223, so this is gonna pop to 223, but big rejection there. 223, getting ready to get stop out. We'll wait. There is a big wall at 223 here. What is SPY doing? SPY is still under the VWAP. Look at the bigger, higher time frame. So it still is on that consolidation. Now we do have a big order sitting now here at 22.01. So now this is the drop that we are waiting for. All right, SPY is below the VWAP here. Still some consolidation. Let's look at what the volume bar is telling us to do. There is a big rejection that happened at 223. Now the support that we're trying to break off of is 221.79. There is an imbalance here now at the bid and ask. Boom. All right. Perfect. So now let's see. We got a support at 221. 221.50. We have orders sitting here at lower now. So we are seeing some weakness here now. So the 15 minutes doesn't look too weak as still. The 1 minute looks weak. And let's look at the 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we are encountering a support there at R4, but there is a big order at 221.30. So we're waiting for a break. All right. Taking some partial here. Waiting for another leg down. Took another partial there, because why not? We did have that move already. And let's look at a lower time frame. So lower time frame, let's see. So there's not a lot of volume here. No imbalance here. There is a big volume at 221. Perfect. All right, waiting for another leg down, which is just at 221 is the support. Let's go. SPY is below the VWAP. All right, Apple is still trending higher, waiting for another leg down here. Perfect. One more leg down. There is a bunch of orders sitting at the bid. Very bearish. Let's go. Perfect. All right, took another partial. So just partialing our way down here. We were able to capture that move already. So the 5 minutes looking weak. We were able to capture that move because of this weakness that we get to see in the 5 minutes. There's still some bunch of orders sitting at the bid. So now we are just trying to see whether this one still has some room to go down. There is now some orders sitting at the ask, which is bullish now, but that can also just be profit takers. But our initial entry is all the way up here, so we are sitting comfortably here in this trade, and then now we are seeing even another leg down here. So big rejection happened at 221. This one waiting for a retest of that support, and this level right here is the pre-market high. Wow, Apple. So we are just waiting to get step out here. So 221.89. All right, so all out of that trade. It is showing that sign of reversal, so just all out. All right, so first trade, not too bad. So Tesla, we got our first trade to the short. So Tesla there, so just went all out. Okay, next trade, Apple. What is Apple doing? Apple, is this all-time high? All-time high. Level here is, yep, this level. That would be a very strong resistance that's going to happen there. So let's see when Apple is ready for a reversal. What else? Apple. So trying to see what else is moving. All right, so less than 30 minutes into the trade, and yeah, we can look for another trade or call it a day and call it a one and done. All right, so Apple here is encountering a very strong resistance, which is this level right here. So Apple is going to go to 237.15. That is the all-time high. Toolbars, let's make sure that, okay, yeah. So it's gonna go to 237.19. I would like to see what it'll do at that all-time high. Most likely it will have a new all-time high. Let's see. So trying to see if we have any other trades that we can take. So Tesla, this is the reason why we just went all out at this level, because it's hitting our break even. So we needed to make sure that we close out our position. So we were able to capture from 222 to 220. So we are talking about $2 move there. So $2 move there. When I entered a short here, I mentioned that my stop loss is going to be at 222.91. Of course, it retested that level, but I was looking at the tape, and the tape was having that wall, as well as we see a lot of orders sitting at the bid, showing that there is a sign of bearishness. And sure enough, as soon as it went all the way to almost close to my break even and to my stop loss, I mean, as soon as it went to my stop loss, close to my stop loss, then it had that rejection, and that's the reason why we were still able to ride this trade. All right, so Apple. So this is the critical level for Apple. going back and forth. Tesla, this is the high of the day, which it will test. Big order right there. All right, Apple, it did touch that all-time high to 37.12. Volume bar is dying down here with Apple, and it already moved 2.4% or almost $5.50. Tesla now retested that high of the day and then having a pullback. Now, I don't want to short this one now because what SPY is doing is SPY is now above the VWAP. So what Tesla can do is it can also just retest this high of the day and create a new high of the day. So that's why I'm just sitting on the sideline here. SPY looks like it's about to create a new all-time high. So just going back and forth how Tesla and Apple looks like. Wow, so rejection 224 with Tesla. Volume bar. Yeah, big rejection happened there, 224. This VWAP right here can also just serve as a support before creating a new high of the day. Tesla still struggling at that level. All right, now Tesla, 5 minutes is getting interesting with Tesla. 5 minutes, we have another spinning tail here. But this is big volume bar right there. I just don't like that it's now respecting the support here, because what I am looking at with Tesla is a short, but it is respecting the VWAP. So let's see, there is a order sitting at the bid there, but look at this volume bar, it's starting to get the momentum. 68, 71. SPY now is at the VWAP, so it's hard to trust this one that it still is gonna head down. SPY having a little bit of a pullback. All right, a little bit of a late trade there. I just saw SPY going below the VWAP, and that's why I went a small position in Tesla, which this one, all right, it's just I wasn't that confident with the drop here. I just saw SPY having that little bit of a pullback at the VWAP, but that one was a little bit of a late trade because the good entry here is at short at 222.53. So small position here for 100 short, and then just a scalp trade, short and then cover. So it's a couple of bucks profit there. This can still have a room to go down now since SPY is having a pullback, but it's just hard to trust. AMD, the daily here. So we moved from 164 all the way to 160 $4 here. The 5 minutes looking strong here, although SPY is having a pullback. So All right, starting a small position long with AMD. So small position to AMD, and then we do have the VWAP right here. It is encountering that resistance. All right, Apple now having a pullback. First pullback for Apple, which SPY is heading lower too. So small position. Let's see, it's very challenging to short an all-time high. So that's the thing so we're just gonna do a very small position short with Apple. So I have a long position with AMD and a short with Apple. So AMD here looking nice. All right, now let's move it above our stop loss, just so this one is not going to turn into a red trade. So just trailing my stop loss there. Apple, just don't want this one to become a red trade as well. Took some partial with Apple, and then now stop loss is at break even. So now, even if we get stop out on those two trades, then that still is going to be a green trade. Oops. So got stop out with both. Stop out with Apple. Yeah, that one was just a scalp trade. And then AMD got stop out too. But looks like AMD is still, oh boy. Apple is actually looking short. Okay, reshorting Apple here. Stop loss is this level. SPY just below the VWAP. Added to my short in Apple. Waiting for a little bit of a pullback. We are testing the support in Apple here. So next support is this level. Waiting for that level to be broken. So now it's 10. Waiting for, yep, this has some room to go down. We do have some orders sitting at the bid here, very bearish, which is helping our short trade here. All right, perfect. Oh boy. All right, so now putting our stop loss at break even. Want to make sure that we protect this. All right, so now just trailing our stop loss with Apple. Let's see, very close. All right, got stop out again. Look at Tesla. Tesla now is, so Tesla did had that drop, but I don't like how big the wick is for Tesla, because that means you're gonna have a bigger stop loss, and I don't want to risk. I don't like doing a big risk on a trade, and that's also the reason why I never touch crypto. All right, so I think that's it for today. So yeah, let's just do a recap. So good morning everyone. It's 10 in the morning and it's October 15, 2024. For those of you who are just seeing our live streaming in YouTube, we do this every week. Every Tuesday we do live trade from around 9:30 onwards, and we typically finish like in the morning after the market opens, and we do it the quickest possible. So we prefer the one and done trade. So today we did Apple, AMD, and Tesla, and the biggest mover today is Tesla. We were able to capture Tesla for a short, and let me just get my pen here. All right, so for Tesla, what I saw was for the last 3 days, Tesla had been weak. I did not have any time to look at the news, and that's also the reason why it's a good thing if you're a day trader. And because day trader, we focus on some technical levels as well as those gap up, gap down, and we base our levels based from the support and resistance. So it's very good for those who don't have time to look at the news, to look at what's going on with the rest of the world. And if you only have a couple of minutes left in your day to trade, then day trading is a good strategy for your portfolio to see those profits. So with Tesla, we have, all right, so 3 days ago, a huge gap down here. So just looking it up, it's 235 all the way to 221. So that's a huge gap down. So right at the bat, I can say that Tesla is weak compared if Tesla is having an all-time high, just like what Apple is. Apple is having an all-time high, and that's why looking at Apple, I'm long bias in Apple, but I did short that, so we'll have to discuss that later. But Tesla, I am short bias. So what I'm looking at with Apple, look at the daily, it looks weak, so I look at a lower time frame. For the pre-market, what we saw here is, so I place my level, you have a pre-market high at 220 at pre-market low at 215 here, so nice range, and it fits our criteria. Now with the 5-minute candlestick, what I saw was this huge candlestick that moved from 219 all the way to 223. Now while I'm looking at Tesla, I am looking at SPY as well, going back and forth the SPY and seeing what Tesla is doing. With SPY, the second candlestick at the 5 minutes was this huge candlestick. What I saw was SPY is about to go below the VWAP. I do have this line right there where SPY has the potential to go and create a new all-time high. So SPY still is very strong, so we have to take that into consideration. But with that little bit of a move, the second candlestick that is going below the VWAP, that's what I saw, and that's where I base my trade when I look at Tesla. So Tesla have this spinning top, so inverted hammer showing signs of weakness. When I saw that you have the inverted hammer, then I can say where is my entry for a short and where is my stop loss for a short. So entry is just below this inverted hammer and stop loss is this wick right here. Now I'm not having this previous candlesticks wick as my stop loss, because if I do that, then I am adding another dollar risk to my trade. So that's why I just have this risk right here. So the problem about having a tight stop loss is you have a higher probability of getting stop out. But that's the reason why you just have to manage your risk. If you want to have a tighter stop loss, then that means you need to have your technical support and resistance respected, or you need to make sure that what your support resistance is a significant one. So for this one, it is significant because it had been the almost close to the high of the body of this candlestick, as well as the candlestick right here. So stop loss is right here, so entered short at 220. And if you can see here, I've been just loading up my shares here. So initial is at 222, and we were able to capture it all the way down here at 220. So 222 to 20.93, more than $1 move there. And with a good amount of shares, we were able to make a profit out of that. And this one was just, I think, like 10% of my share. that was just stop out because we reached the break even. So I did see as well that we are forming another inverted hammer here, which is the second time around. First time is this. Now I wasn't able to time it correctly because the good entry here for a short is at 222.53, but I came late to the party, so I went short at 221.91. You know, having a good profit already for the day, I don't want to mess up the trade. That's why I have a very tight stop loss. So just a scalp trade. As soon as we get the drop and then SPY is just hovering around the VWAP, I just went in and out of that trade. So just a scalp move. Was still green on that trade, but it was just a move of 221.82 all the way to 221.70. So a couple of cents move there, but still able to capture that move. Then next one, I was trading AMD as well as Apple. Apple was creating an all-time high, and AMD had this giant move down, which is 164 all the way to 159. So we're talking about at least $5 move down with AMD. We have in the 5 minutes. So the time frame that I like trading is 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and based from the daily, how it looks like. So with the AMD, looks like we have found a support right here at 159. So the same drill is I entered long at the sign of reversal. So went long at 160.46. Stop loss here is at 159. So less than $1 risk there, and target is at the VWAP. So when we were close at the VWAP, very small position, we were starting to partial. So we partial and just put my stop loss behind it, just because looking at AMD in the daily, it looks very weak. So we are due for another leg down. So I know before even going into the trade that trade is just gonna be a scalp trade, and that's why I have a tight stop loss. So I got stop out, so just a couple of dollars profit there. So that is the AMD trade. And the next one is Apple. So Apple, it's very tricky to short an all-time high, because an all-time high, you can right at the bat tell that stock is very strong. So Apple is forming a very strong move here. At one point, this is the all-time high with Apple. So that one was June 15 or July 15 of this year. And I placed that level there just so I would see what Apple will do at that very significant level. So I was saying earlier that Apple can retest that level and create a new all-time high, which is right now what it did. So this is the all-time high initially before Apple created a new all-time high today. So now after it created a new all-time high, it is now having a pullback. So SPY is heading lower as well. If I only saw this one earlier around 236, I could have short this one, but now it's too late because it is heading to that support. And also SPY is now created an low of the day. So I wouldn't trust this one to keep going down. It can still keep going down, but the risk is higher because I am now already late to the party, 236. So I shorted Apple at the sign of weakness. So Apple, this is the all-time high. We had a rejection at all-time high. So I went short there, knowing that this is a very strong stock, and Apple making it a very strong stock, it is going to push higher and create an all-time high for Apple. So what I did was scalp trade Apple. So Apple, I shorted it at 236.61 and then trailing my partial here at 236.52. Considering that that's just a couple of cents of profit, that's totally fine for me because, again, shorting an all-time high stock is very risky So you do need to know already before you enter a trade whether that trade is just gonna be a scalp or you're gonna give that stock a room for it to move. So for Apple, I know that it's gonna be a scalp trade, so I went short, partial, and then short again because I saw that SPY is having a pullback and it is below the VWAP. Now it's very enticing to short Apple, but it already did its move. So again, we're too late to the party. So short here at 236 and then cover 236.43. So just a small profit with Apple. And with that, we are ending the day with 2K profit. And we just traded less than 30 minutes. And let's see if there's anything else that's moving. But in the meantime, I think we have seen the easy trade happen in that first 40 minutes of the day. Now SPY is having a pullback, so Apple expects some pullback with Apple, and yeah, AMD having that pullback as well. That's why we have the VWAP as our profit target, but the rest, it's just gonna be weak. Created a new low of the day, and that's pretty much it. So still heading lower, and that is also because SPY is having a pullback now after creating that all-time high. So with that, I hope you guys get something from this trade, and yeah, I hope you guys have a green trading day for the day. So again, for those of you who are new in the channel, we do this live trade every Tuesday in the morning once the market opens. And if you do have questions, please feel free to email me. You can check our website out, and in that website, you'll see and check how we started day trading and why is it a very good strategy to learn how to day trade for a living, because you can day trade at the comfort of your home wearing PJs and be done with your work, less than 30 minutes of work. So you don't have to be tied with your 9 to 5 job, because as always, we believe that our biggest asset is still our time. So if we can lessen the time of work that we get to do, the better, so we can focus on what matters most. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, we'll do this again next time. Ciao. Is it your relationship? Is it health? Is it growth? Or maybe a status? Or maybe a popularity? Is it achievement? Or is it security? Is it fulfillment? Or is it a passion? Is it a relationship, adventure, being creative, being able to do what you want at your own terms? Or just loving what you do, exploring the world, giving back, serving? Now the list can go on and on. What's the common denominator here? All of this require time. And if we will spend 90,000 hours at work, which is the average number of hours a person works in their lifetime, then who has the time to do all this? 24 hours in a day isn't coming to an end. 24 hours is all that we're going to get. Now, wish you could have more time so you can focus on what matters most. What would you do if you have more time in your hand? What would you do if money is not the driving force for you to work? What if you have to get up in the morning, not because you have to clock in at work? What if you have to roll out of your bed to do what you love to do? For instance, for you to travel, spend time with your loved one, follow your passion, maybe do a volunteer work. Did you ever dream of reclaiming more time in a day, or ever wanted to start your own business so you can experience more autonomy, not having to report to a boss, and having the liberty to make your own decision or your own schedule? And I am not talking about retirement. Every day, we get a fresh 24 hours to make that decision on how we would spend that 24 hours. Every day, we are in a crossroad. Our decision will determine our future. In day trading, you can reclaim more time from your day by cutting the working hours to less than 10 hours per week, so you can focus on what matters most. Because honestly, for some, that 10 hours is only their commute time per week to work. After all, we all have seen this ad before. So reclaim more time through day trading so you can focus on what matters most. After all, we are all in a borrowed time, so make it count. Click the link below to learn how to day trade for a living. My name is Mary, and I'm a day trader. So what do you value the most? Is it family? Is it your relationship? Is it health? Is it growth? Or maybe a status? Or maybe a popularity? Is it achievement? Or is it security? Is it fulfillment? Or is it a passion? Is it a relationship, adventure, being creative, being able to do what you want at your own terms? Or just loving what you do, exploring the world, giving back, serving? Now the list can go on and on. What's the common denominator here? All of this require time. And if we will spend 90,000 hours at work, which is the average number of hours a person works in their lifetime, then who has the time to do all this? 24 hours in a day isn't coming to an end. 24 hours is all that we're going to get. Now, wish you could have more time so you can focus on what matters most. What would you do if you have more time in your hand? What would you do if money is not the driving force for you to work? What if you have to get up in the morning, not because you have to clock in at work? What if you have to roll out of your bed to do what you love to do? For instance, for you to travel, spend time with your loved one, follow your passion, maybe do a volunteer work. Did you ever dream of reclaiming more time in a day, or ever wanted to start your own business so you can experience more autonomy, not having to report to a boss, and having the liberty to make your own decision or your own schedule? And I am not talking about retirement. Every day, we get a fresh 24 hours to make that decision on how we would spend that 24 hours. Every day, we are in a crossroad. Our decision will determine our future. In day trading, you can reclaim more time from your day by cutting the working hours to less than 10 hours per week, so you can focus on what matters most. Because honestly, for some, that 10 hours is only their commute time per week to work. After all, we all have seen this ad before. So reclaim more time through day trading so you can focus on what matters most. After all, we are all in a borrowed time, so make it count. Click the link below to learn how to day trade for a living. My name is Mary, and I'm a day trader. So what do you value the most? Is it family,